The battle will begin after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Ridge have sent me some new wallets and I am all over this new Tiki one. The Tiki is my new favourite wallet, but before that I used this, and to be honest with you, it mostly just created an awkward bulge. All those receipts, coins and unused cards. However, the Ridge wallet can organise and hold up to 12 cards and hold cash via a clipple band on the back. They've got dozens of colours and styles such as the Tiki, Forged Carbon and Gunmetal. They come with a lifetime warranty and a 45-day money-back guarantee, and the icing on the wedding cake is it blocks your contactless signal, so you can't get digitally pickpocketed. It's certainly comforting to know all my cards in cash are nicely organised for when I need them. Treat yourself today, use that link below, and you'll get a lovely 10% discount. The doors to the shipping container were pulled open by the attending D-Class, and an enraged creature came bounding out. It instantly grabbed one of the men in its mouth and cleaved him in two, swallowing the upper half. Several armed men came forward and unleashed a barrage of heavy gunfire into the creature from behind. Bloody jaws turned towards the armed men, ready to slaughter them where they stood. But for now, the creature had more important things to do. It turned and quickly put the men behind it, sprinting away to freedom. He heard a voice in his head. It was commanding him to leave. The strangeness of the situation struck him almost immediately, and so did something else. The ground split in two as the reptile was struck. One of the most powerful and mightiest entities the Foundation had ever encountered unleashed its fury on 682. Another blow descended on 682 before he had even hit the ground. 682 took a deep breath of scorched earth and his own flesh as he rolled onto his back. His entire being was charred and red raw. He pulled himself out of the crater to see an angelic being standing over him.
The snake slithers back to the garden.
Uriel.
He spat blood and burnt meat onto the ground.
You corrupted my lord's vision.
I simply suggested they eat the fruit.
After another blinding flash of light, 682 was hurtling across the landscape once again, this time with a massive gash in his abdomen. His entrails followed, not too far behind him. He groaned in his crater and began consuming the earth around him. Lost muscle and flesh began to regrow, armoured plating began to cover his extremities, and he began to grow. He could feel his bones creaking and snapping, adjusting to his new form.
You command me to die after the curse your lord laid upon me?
682 stood tall and stared down the angel. Everything about his new form was catered towards bringing death to this being. Uriel brought his sword up and stared back, waiting for the reptile's first move. With a monumental roar, 682 bounded towards Uriel. Just as 682 was upon him, Uriel swung his sword around and brought it swiftly into the side of 682's head. The receiving side of 682's skull shattered, sending a hailstorm of blood and bone fragments to the ground. The reptile quickly recovered and used the impact's momentum to swing his tail around and slam it into Uriel's side, the spikes going deep. Uriel brought the sword swinging back, separating 682 from his tail in a flash. He followed up with a hard kick to the beast, sending it crashing backwards. Uriel glanced down at his wounds and gave 682 an acknowledging nod. The reptile roared and struck the ground, causing it to bubble and split between their feet. The faults ran deep and lava began to bubble up from between the cracks. 682 lowered himself to the floor, never taking his eyes off Uriel, and began absorbing the fire into his form. Uriel took a step back into a defensive position and readied himself for the next strike. The beast began to convulse, before expelling a mixture of magma and acid at the angel. Uriel brought his sword back and wrapped his many wings around his form. The mixture settled on them, but did not penetrate. 682 moved in to press his advantage as the angel's wings unfurled and showered the beast in its own cocktail of searing hot acid. 682 fell backwards, screaming in agony as his eyes melted in their sockets. Uriel brought the flaming sword crashing down on 682, splitting him from head to chest. A final cut was delivered and the beast's lower limbs were removed, leaving it to crawl on the floor. 682 didn't even try to get up.
Exactly where a snake should be, on its belly.
So kill me.
My lord has commanded you to suffer for all eternity.
Uriel raised his sword once more, holding the hilt high with the blade low, and let gravity pull it down into the beast's hide. 682 felt a brief sensation of scorching heat and agony before being reduced to a severed head. He could feel his armoured plating disappearing into his body, his remaining mass being redistributed to replace what was lost. A massive hand grabbed him before tossing him out of the garden. He coughed and wheezed as the impact sent dust and rocks into his airways. He heard the words "remove" in his head, and as his eyes returned, he saw several blurred humanoid figures in orange jumpsuits approaching him on the horizon. And that concludes this cross encounter between SCP-682 and the Gate Guardian. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, comment below what cross encounters you want to see next. A thank you to the amazing patrons and members who keep the channel going, do consider joining them. And thank you to Rick Trexon, General's Alert, Wings of a Meme, JT Walker, Horizons, Number of the Yeast, Fallen Angel, Pepperfish, Dr. Rome, Wedge the First, Savage Broccoli, Lesby Friends, Razman Tufty, Splinty the Tear God, and Miss Talancaro. Big thanks to the council members Arctoast Kibara, Captain Core Hunter Killer, Tree Arctos, the Commissar, Cat Clone, Kilo, Bob, Savagion, and Lil Sub, and huge thanks to the administrators Viger, Kamana, Wunderschnell, and Sonic. Thank you all for watching, I'll see you all soon, and take care.